Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from the beautiful metaverse and more specifically from beautiful Danville, Illinois, homeland of the Corellian tradition, and this is Tarot Thursday. And I am guest hosting for Reverend Mary Hawk, who is at the Pagan Unity Festival. And as you know, if you follow Tarot Thursday, we will be doing mini readings for anyone who is interested in having one. And if you'd like a mini reading, feel free to ask your question in the chat room, and we will do a reading for you. And until we have our first reading, I will sit here and be a talking head, and we will talk about whatever seems relevant to the subject of tarot reading. And I've been a tarot reader now for well over 30 years. Hello to Swack Fan in the chat room. I started reading tarot, well, actually over 40 years ago. And I've had many adventures in the tarot world. It's not the only kind of reading that I have done during my professional career, but it has been one that I have always done during my professional career. And it's one of the more popular forms of divination in the United States. And during the time that I've been doing tarot reading, I've watched the availability of cards change from just a few decks that were available when I started, the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the Tarot Thoth, the Marseille Tarot, to literally thousands of decks available today. And hello to Renee in the chat room. And Renee would like a general reading, and Swackfan would like a reading for the next month. So let's start with Renee. I have my cards, and we shall shuffle them, and we shall do a general reading for Renee. And people sometimes ask, how do you know when you've shuffled long enough? And the answer to that is that once you've done this for a while, you just know when you have reached the appropriate point. We shall draw 3 cards for Renee. The 3 cards we are drawing are the 8 of Lamps, the 4 of Coins, and the 5 of Wands. And the 8 of Lamps is a card of personal mastery, of having acquired the skills that you need to do the things you need to do. And hello to Kayleen in the chat room, and hello to Anissa in the chat room. And the 8 of Lamps says that Renee should find herself in a place where she has all the things she needs to know and all the skills that she needs to have to obtain what she desires. She does not need to get more. Having said that, she has the 4 of Coins, which suggests that things are just not really moving as much as she might like at this moment. And hello to Ed the Pagan in the chat room, who remarks, a bow tie. Yes, I have a bow tie today. The 4 of Coins says that on one hand, things are stable. On the other hand, they're not really moving much at all right now. And that gives us the 5 of Wands, which is inner conflict or mixed feeling. So I would say that Renee should find herself in basically a good situation, but one that just isn't really necessarily giving her the things that she's looking for at this moment. But let's draw another card to go with that. And we've drawn the 2 of Swords. The 2 of Swords is an alliance or a friendship that is helpful to the situation. So, in terms of moving things forward, other people around you will be helpful in doing that, and there will be help in moving forward. Um, but this is a time when things are moving slowly. And there you go. And now we will do a reading for SWAC Fan for June. We begin by clearing the cards. And then we shall shuffle for SWAC Fan. And I hope everyone has been having a good month of May, nearly at the end now. And we're almost into my birthday month. It's the season of Gemini. So we shall draw 3 cards for SWAC Fan. And we have drawn Justice, the Ten of Wands, and the Nine of Lamps. So Justice says that as you go forward through the next month, you want to put out effort for the things that you desire, because you'll get back the amount commensurate to the effort you're putting in. Justice is saying that you're not wasting your effort, and the more effort you put in, the better the result you're going to get. So put out that effort to get what you're trying to achieve, and you'll find that your effort is paid back. The Ten of Wands says this is true, but you're on the edge of change. The change is not quite ready to happen, but keep putting out that effort and you will find yourself moving forward. The Nine of Lamps says that you're in a position of really having much like in the previous reading, you have the skills you need to have to do what you need to do. In this case, the more effort you put in, the happier you're going to be. And let us draw an additional card, a Brian card to go with this. And we've drawn the King of Cups, which is happiness with the outcome. So it's saying, go ahead, do the work, put in the effort, even if it doesn't seem at first like you're getting everything that you're hoping from it, you will, and your effort will be paid back. So do not be afraid to put out that effort as you go forward. And then we shall do a reading for Anissa for June. And Renee says, thank you, that was great, I'm glad. And again, we'll first clear the cards, and then we shall draw for Anissa. And as I was saying, we're coming into my birthday month, which is June. And it's interesting at this point. I have officially outlived my mother by a couple of months so far. And SWAC Fan says, thank you, Reverend Don. Thank you, SWAC Fan. And I think that's always an interesting position to be in. And I'm looking forward to many more years. And we shall draw 3 cards for Anissa. And we have drawn the Princess of Coins, the Magus, and the Ace of Coins. So these are all very positive cards, and I would say they have quite a bit to do with material or financial situations. So I think in the month of June, Anissa is going to be dealing with things that affect her material life um, in terms of her prosperity, her stability, and the first card, the Princess of Coins, says that Anissa knows the things that she needs to do. She knows the things she wants to do, and it's just a matter of doing them. You may find yourself holding back from some of the things you'd like to do. You don't need to do that. You can head out and do them. They will go well. The Magus basically seconds that opinion. The Magus says that um, the things you do are going to be successful. It's your ability to work your will in the world to bring about that which you desire. And the Ace of Pentacles is money and prosperity. So in terms of being focused on issues of money and prosperity, you'll be quite successful in dealing with those. And in general, I would look for a pretty successful month of June. I'm going to draw one more card for you. And I've drawn the Princess of Cups. The Princess of Cups says, you want to make it a point to stay in touch with your feelings. You may find yourself feeling emotional about certain things, which really means you need to look at them. But everything's going to be going well. So if you find yourself feeling emotional, ask yourself why. And you may find that there's some things you may not have entirely seen. And that will be helpful to you. And I hope that reading was helpful to you. Kayleen says, we're looking forward to you having many more years as well. Well, thank you, Kayleen. Kayleen is joining us from Australia. So, do we have anyone else who would like a reading? It's very interesting. Lady Crystal, my cousin and my teacher many, many years ago, is on the edge of her 79th birthday, which when she has accomplished that will make her the oldest living member of the longest lived member of our family so far. Caroline, who founded the family, died a few weeks short of her 79th birthday. And, you know, looking back, both of our mothers died in their 60s. And it doesn't look like either one of us is going to be particularly short-lived. And that's interesting. And, yeah, I'm not unhappy to be going forward and to have many more years to go. I'm not quite sure what those years are going to hold for me. It does seem like they're new adventures, not simply continuing the old adventures, but one thing I'm certain of is that there will be adventures, because life is just kind of boring without them. And Kayleen says, this is the longest incarnation I've had in around 800 years. And that's wonderful. Absolutely. And you know, excuse me. In terms of ordinary people, I mean, we are living longer than we ever really have previously, on average. When I was a child, there were certainly many people who lived into their 80s and their 90s, or even to 100, but far, far fewer of them than now. I still remember in the 1970s, I believe it was Willard Scott started doing a segment on one of the morning news shows where he honored centenarians on their birthday because it was such an unusual thing to happen. And within a few years, it was no longer so terribly unusual. And not all that terribly unusual now. Um, Lots of people live near or past their 100th birthday, which, if you'd said it when I was a child, I don't think we would have thought was something we were likely to see in this lifetime, but here it is. I've heard it said that, within another 20 to 30 years, um, our relationship to death may significantly change because of the things happening in medicine and technology now. And that does not entirely surprise me, considering all the things I've seen change. Um, I've often talked about my belief that what we're doing with technology and the internet is a spiritual as well as a physical evolution that we're going through, and that it will strongly affect our ways of expressing ourselves spiritually in the future, and how we grow and develop will be different, um, presumably more expansive and more profound. And I firmly think that in terms of our relation with the spirit world, that we're going to find that the technologies we're developing are going to make that connection stronger than it has been previously. And does anyone else have a desire for a reading tonight? If not, maybe I'll do a general reading for the world at large and see what we come up with. So I'm going to do a general reading for the remainder of this year. And let's just see what Spirit has to say. Speak to us about the remainder of 2025, year 25 Aquarius. And we're going to draw 3 cards for the remainder of this year. The first card is the Six of Cups, followed by the Nine of Lamps coming up again, followed by the King of Cups. You saw me shuffle a deck, but we are getting some of those same cards again. The first one, the Six of Cups, says to us that past influences will continue to be dominant through the remainder of the year. So I would say that means that many of the things we're already seeing and have been seeing for a while will continue to play out as we go into the future. That with the Nine of Lamps, we have all of the skill and knowledge we need to deal with those things. And we need to remember that and make use of that. We need to stand on our own 2 feet and use the skills that we have to bring about the results that we desire. And the King of Cups is happiness. And one of the things that surprised me about readings for this year is how positive so many of them have been, when so many things going on in the world don't seem so positive. But the King of Cups is a very positive card and suggests that if we use the skills we have, and I'm assuming that means as a community, also as individuals, we're going to end up happier with this situation than we might anticipate. I'm going to draw 1 more card. I've drawn the Five of Swords. And as you can see, the Five of Swords shows the house burning to the ground. And, to some extent, that may be part of what we're experiencing this year. And, I've talked about this whole idea of the new age and the change of the age, which has been a major theme throughout my life. And that part of that means you've got to Well, if we put it nicely, you have to heal all the bad things of the previous age or carry them forward. And I kind of think part of what we're going through, because we're really doing shadow work, both nationally and worldwide at present. And I think that's exactly what it is. We're dealing with our shadows. And yeah, we may feel like the house is burning to the ground, but that isn't necessarily what's really happening. Let's draw another card. And I've drawn the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups is called the Wish card. And the Nine of Cups is the best card in the deck and the worst card in the deck because of what it is. And what it says in terms of that house burning to the ground energy. What you wish for is what you will receive. Focus on what you want. Focus on what you desire. Focus on what it is you wish to bring to pass, and not on what you fear. And you'll get what you're wishing for, even if it doesn't initially seem likely. So that's our general reading for the remainder of this year. And does anyone else have a request for a reading this evening? If not, I'm going to do another general reading for next year. And I see we've gained a few viewers. Welcome. I hope you're enjoying the program. This is Tarot Thursday. The normal host, Reverend Mary Hawk, is at the Pagan Unity Festival. Hello to Fernanda in the chat room. It's good to see you. And we're doing mini readings this evening. And currently I'm doing a general reading for 2026, year 26 Aquarius, if you're using the Grelian calendar. And we will draw 3 cards and see what they have to say. Oh, and Kayleen says, I like the general readings for years. Thank you, Kayleen. And here we go. And the first card we draw, the Princess of Swords, followed by the Prince of Coins, followed by the Ten of Coins, which is a very interesting group of cards. And hello to Vivian P in the chat room. And Vivian P wishes us hello from Missouri. And it's good to see you, Vivian. So the Princess of Swords, in talking about year 2026, says that communication is going to be vitally important, and that we must all pay close attention to our communication. Make sure that we're saying what we truly mean, or at least what we mean to say. I usually interpret this card as saying that you need to make certain that you say what needs to be said, that you avoid saying what should not be said, and that you pay close attention to your diplomacy and your communication in general. It's very much a card of diplomacy. And you can see that the illustration is of a Japanese geisha or entertainer. And that is a profession that's all about communication, all about often highly stylized communication. And that's kind of what the card advises, being cautious and very intentional in communication. It's followed by the Prince of Coins, which is slow but steady growth. So I would say that we will find things growing slowly but steadily through the year in good directions, and it's followed by the Ten of Coins. And the Ten of Coins is happy, successful, home, family, community, society. And so it's saying that as we go through next year, we're moving in very positive directions. However, anyone may feel about it, it's ultimately moving in a good direction. So, what I would say is by all means, focus on all the things that you want to see happen, but feel optimistic about where things may be going, because the readings continue to be optimistic for it. And that's not really quite what I had expected, but it is what I keep being told. And there we are. Now, exactly what that translates to, of course, we'll see when we get there. And hello to Seven Jane in the chat room. It's good to see you, Seven Jane. And would anyone else like a reading? We're doing our little mini readings. Reverend Mary is at the Pagan Unity Festival. And Anissa says, my uncle wants to retire this year. What does the year hold for him? Can you tell me your uncle's first name, please? And then I will draw some cards for him. Although I suppose I don't really need to know the name. So, Anissa's uncle. And Seven Jane and Vivian P would also both like to do readings. So wonderful. So we shall draw 3 cards for Anissa's uncle for what this year holds for him. The first card is the Nine of Lamps, which has been a theme this evening, followed by the Two of Rods, followed by Fortune. And since the question begins with the idea that the uncle is looking to retire this year, I'm assuming that's part of the question here. First card, the Nine of Lamps, is being in a strong, independent position, having the things you need, having the skills you need. Very positive card. And also, you'll notice that the person in the card is rather elderly, and could be described as being in a strong, positive retirement. It's followed by the Two of Wands, which is new directions and new situations that are going in new directions. So I would say most likely most likely that probably does say, yes, that he is most likely to retire this year, and it will bring many new things into his life, new energy into his life, and is followed by Fortune. And Fortune is getting a gift from the universe helping you to do what you want to do. So assuming he wants to retire, I think he will find it probably a little bit easier than he was perhaps afraid of, and that everything will align for it, that it will come together nicely for him. I'm going to draw a Brian card for him, and we are drawing the Moon. And the Moon can mean a couple of different things. I usually interpret the Moon as saying to use your spirituality, to use your magic, to use your connection to the universe to help you to get the things that you want. It also says pay attention to your emotions, pay attention to your psychic intuitions, and so forth. So it basically says stay connected. So it's very important for him as he goes through this to stay connected, to make sure that he is paying attention to what he actually feels. But it looks to me like yes, he will retire, and yes, it will be a positive thing. And there you go. Now we're going to draw some cards for Seven Jane. And Uncle's name is Mark, and we wish Mark a happy retirement. We start by clearing the cards, and then we shall shuffle them for 7J. And we shall draw 3 cards for 7J. The first card is the Ace of Swords. The second card is the 7 of Coins. The third card is Judgment. And these are cards we have not seen yet tonight, which is cool. The first card, and this is talking basically about this year for 7Jane, there's a major choice that you will be making this year. It may already be in front of you, or it may still be coming, but you're going to be making a big choice about your future, about your life, about really kind of about everything you're doing. The blessing to this is your judgment in the situation is good. You should trust yourself. 7 of Coins says that in making that judgment, you're going to have several options, and you have not made up your mind yet necessarily. But again, your judgment is good. You'll be able to make a good decision. But there will be a lot to consider, a lot of possibilities laid out before you. And judgment is getting what you have worked for and what you've wanted. Judgment is, well, you can see in the picture we have the mystic in a state of enlightenment. It's and 7Jane says it's not showing my praying emojis. Well, it does on the screen. It may not on the page, but I can see them. And so yes, very good outcome. So you're going to be facing choices that will have major impact on your life in this coming year. You haven't really made the choice yet, but you'll make a good choice and you'll be happy with the outcome. And I'm going to draw one more card for you. And we have drawn the Princess of Coins. And the Princess of Coins says that you may already know what you want to do. Chances are you'll know well before you do it, and part of you may hold back from it, but you don't need to. You may have some uncertainty of whether things will work out. You may have some hesitancy. None of that is necessary. Everything before you is good, and you should be confident and go ahead and do what you know you need to do when you know you need to do it. Again, I don't think that's necessarily yet, but it's coming, and I think that not only do you have that decision before you, but you're going to make a very good decision and have a good outcome. And there we go. And 7Jane says, wow, that's a nice reading. Well, actually, yes, it was. And I love it when they say good things. And then we're going to do, let me just make certain that, and hello to Jeanette in the chat room. It's good to see you, Jeanette. A general reading for Vivian. We'll start by clearing the cards. Jeanette says, sorry, I'm a little late. That's okay. We're here for a whole hour. And it's like an old-fashioned tarot party. All we're missing are the little sandwiches. Oh, and Kayleen says, would those watching on YouTube who appreciate this session or their readings, perhaps click on the like button? That would be lovely. Yes, please. Whatever platform you're watching on, click the like button. And if you're watching on a platform that lets you do it, click the share button. And Seven Jane says, I needed to hear that. Thank you. This resonates. And I'm very glad to hear that. And we're going to draw 3 cards for Vivian. The first one is the Two of Swords. Second one is Fortune. The third one is Temperance. And you see me shuffling the cards, but it's often the case that similar cards will come up because the energies of the universe are moving in certain directions. First card, the Two of Swords. Vivian, I think as you go forward in these next few months, you're going to find yourself working with another person in important parts of your life. And that person will be a strong alliance for you, a strong helper for you. It's possible it could be a romantic partner, but probably not. Probably a friend or an associate of some sort. They'll be important in the things that are happening. The Wheel of Fortune says that as you're dealing with the various issues that you're going to be dealing with through the summer going into the fall, you're going to find the universe is pushing in your direction. You're going to find things are going to work out for you in positive ways. Sometimes even when maybe they shouldn't. But the Wheel of Fortune is a gift from the universe, a gift from fortune, a gift from fate. So look for good things to be happening. And with it is Temperance. And Temperance says that in terms of what those good things are, they're not new exactly. They're upcycled. Temperance is the upcycling card. This particular design for Temperance was created by Lady Bitterwind. I did the artwork, but this is her symbolism. She saw it not necessarily in quite the same way that I'm describing it, but she was a huge proponent of upcycling. And what that means in a question like this is making new situations out of existing situations, revitalizing them, bringing new life to what's already there. So it isn't so much that brand new things are going to start moving, so much as that what's already there will be renewed, but in very positive ways. I'm going to draw one more card for you. And we have drawn the Ten of Coins. And we had the Ten of Coins a little while ago. And once again, it's happiness, success, stability, strong home and community. Very, very positive card. So I would say for Vivian that you're going to find this next few months going very well for you and has a lot of revitalization and renewal going on. And there you go. And then Jeanette says, Jeanette would like to ask if the person they're talking to is the right person for them. Okay. So let us begin by clearing the deck. Now, when you see me shuffle the cards, the first thing I do is dissipate the energy from the reading that's just been done so that it doesn't carry over. And then we will shuffle for Jeanette. And Vivian says, wow, thank you. Thank you, Vivian. It's always good to see you. It's always good to see everybody. You notice I do not fan shuffle. I've never been good at it. And I don't think it's particularly good for tarot cards, although many people do shuffle tarot cards that way. But I've always felt like it was not necessarily good for the artwork. And hello to Rosebud 4. And Rosebud says, "This is great and hard to find. Tarot readings for us older folk." Well, thank you, Rosebud. And we're going to momentarily draw 3 cards for Jeanette and the relationship that she is asking about. And our first card, not for the first time tonight, is the Princess of Swords, followed by the Prince of Cups, followed by the Ace of Lamps. And what do these mean? Well, the Princess of Coins, as we said earlier, is a card about holding back when you don't need to. Everything in the situation is good. Everything is fine. Part of you may still be holding back. It's not necessary to hold back. Trust the situation and move forward. With that, we have the Prince of Cups. Prince of Cups has to do with effective communication. And hello to Sam Dickens. And it says that in this relationship situation, make sure that you communicate the things you want to communicate. Make sure that you're having good, active communication. And the Ace of Lamps says that this is going to have the strongest effect on your spiritual life, as well as obviously your emotional life. But there's a strong spiritual element here too. And I'm going to draw one more card. And I've drawn the Ace of Cups, which is happiness, particularly emotional happiness. So in terms of the question, is this the right person for you? I would say this is the right relationship for you at this moment. I would say that you should embrace it and go forward. And hello to Athena. Athena Rokar, hello. And yeah, I would say that you can expect good things here. And then Sam has said, "I'm in rehab after losing my other leg and have much therapy to do. If I'm ever to leave my bed and room again, what do you see in my many tomorrows?" And we shall draw some cards for Sam. And then Rosebud is asking for a reading and makes a remark that they're still looking for love. So I'm assuming that the reading that we are asking for has to do with that subject. But first, Sam, and let us begin by clearing the deck. And from the way the question is phrased, I would understand that to really be asking how that recovery is going to go and what else may follow. And we shall shuffle the cards for Sam. Oh, and we have an escapee. And it's our first escapee of the evening. We should draw 3 cards for Sam. And as you know, if you follow my work, I, like many other readers, believe that when a card flies out of the deck that way while you're shuffling, it means it wants to be in that reading. And they tend to have a little extra weight because they've jumped out on their own. So the 3 cards that we have drawn are the Moon, Fortune, the 2 of Lamps, and the escapee is the Fool. So I'm going to start with the Fool, because I think this speaks to where Sam is in the immediate future and going forward. And the Fool is the card of the chaos moment when everything is possible. The Fool says that you can that the path is clear to do whatever you choose to do, but you must make the choice. It's like the chaos moment. If you're not familiar with the chaos moment is that moment when you've broken the old pattern, but not created the new one. So it's saying that your future is very much in your hands, and that you can choose what you do with it, and have a good outcome from that. Then we have the moon, and the moon, as we were saying earlier, has to do with using your magic, using your spirituality, making sure that you stay in touch with your higher self. Make sure that you're acting from your truest self, that you're using your spiritual resources to, again, pursue that which you desire, in this case, recovery and future life. It's certainly possible, and you certainly can do it. It's followed by fortune. Fortune is a gift from the universe, a gift from fate, and it's saying that you may find this easier than you expect, particularly once you've made up your mind that you're going to do it and you're going to go forward. And you may find that things align themselves in such a way that the universe is helping you with your recovery. So use that energy and move forward. And you can see this is an illustration from the creation story in the Vangelo delle Streghe, when the god and goddess set the world to order, and you can see it's the sunrise of creation, and it's kind of saying you're in a moment of sunrise in your life. And Anissa says, wishing Mr. Sam a speedy recovery. Thank you, Anissa. And the Two of Lamps says you're not necessarily sure where you want to go as you recover. There are a number of things that you may be considering, a number of possibilities, and they are in fact all possible. Choose the one that you like. You can see in the picture the lady is basically staring into her cauldron where everything is cooking, and that's where you're at in your life. The things in the future are cooking, but you may not see them clearly yet. But choose what you want, and I think you'll find that you can do it. I'm going to draw one more card. And we've drawn the Prince of Coins. And the Prince of Coins says, through all of this, you also want to bear in mind that you're going to have slow but steady growth. Don't try to rush things. Let them take the time they need. And you will find that everything will come along. It's like a garden. It grows in its own time, but it is growing. So I would say that's a very, very hopeful little reading for you, and I hope that's helpful. And Jeanette says, thank you so much. That's what I need to hear. I always love for that to be the case. And I've been sharing a lot of music on Facebook to help people out. And she says, blessed be, and I'm going to sit back and watch the show. And that's wonderful. And then Rosebud was asking about romance. And then Athena would like a reading, and that will probably be our last reading for the hour, since we're coming up on the last 10 minutes. We begin by clearing the cards. Adjusting our little bow tie that Ed the Pagan remarked upon. And then we're going to shuffle for Rosebud and romantic situations coming. And we're going to draw 3 cards for Rosebud. The first card is the Six of Wands. The second card is the Prince of Cups. And the third card is the Fool. And you saw me shuffling these cards. But again, certain themes will tend to come up at certain times in the universe. And hello to Moon Dancer. And Moon Dancer says, it's been a while since I caught you on. Yes, indeed. So the three cards that we have start with the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is a card of victory and achieving something that you have worked for and wanted. So since this is a question basically to the effect of, is romance coming for Rosebud? The answer I would say is yes, because it's a victorious outcome. And with that is the Prince of Cups. The Prince of Cups is communication, and it says to me to make sure that you're out there socializing with people in places where you can meet that romantic interest. Make sure that you're interacting with people, make sure you're communicating with people. And the Fool is, once again, the chaos moment. And the Fool says, everything is possible. Make sure you know what you want. Be clear in what you want for your relationship. But yes, I would say one is definitely coming. And that it will be a good and positive one. And again, just make certain that you're clear on what you actually want. And we've drawn as a balance card the Princess of Cups, the Brian card, as I sometimes call it. The Princess of Cups says you may find yourself feeling very emotional about this, although that's not unexpected in relationship situations. Make sure you're clear on what you really feel. Make sure you stay in touch with your emotions and make sure you express them. Do not hold back emotionally. And with that, I would say, yes, I would think that love is coming and will be positive. Moon Dancer says, I really like that deck. The deck I'm reading with is the Tarot of Hecate. I designed this deck back in the 1980s, produced it in the early 2000s. And Vivian says, great stream. Thank you, Vivian. And Sam says, thank you, Reverend Don, for the reading. The moon is my beloved. Her voice in the reading assures me the truth of your reading. Thank you, Sam. And we are now going to next read for Athena, who wants to know what she should be doing career-wise, and remarks that she cannot find a job where she is happy. But before we do that reading, we're going to take just a moment for a message from our sponsor. And here's that. And thank you to our sponsor, Equinox Learning Hub. And we will now do a reading for Athena. And I shall begin by clearing the deck. And Athena is asking what she should be doing for career, and will she find a job where she can be happy? We have an SKP in the form of the High Priestess. We shall draw 3 cards for Athena. 3. Count them. 3. First card is the Six of Cups. Second card is the Mind. Third card is the Tower. And again, the SKP is the High Priestess. So I'm going to start with the High Priestess on the presumption that Athena says, I knew she would fly. The High Priestess has to do with spiritual connection and spiritual guidance. And it says to make sure that you're paying attention to your spiritual connection and that you'll get the help that you need through that route. It may come to you through meditation, divination, simply knowing, allowing yourself to be guided by spirit. Then we have the Six of Cups. And since we're asking what you should be doing career-wise, the Six of Cups is past influences or people you've known in the past. So I would say be looking at things out of your past that could come back into your future. This could be skills you've used in the past and maybe not used recently. Could be a particular place you've worked in the past or someone you've worked with in the past that could have opportunities for the future. But you'll find past influences around your future options. With it is the mind. And the mind says, think about it. Look at your options. Maybe look at options you're not presently seeing, but use your mind to help find your answer. Your ability to reason your way through this is strong, and you want to do that. You don't want to cut yourself off from your emotions, certainly don't want to cut yourself off from your spirituality, but rather involve all of these things together with your mind in finding a holistic solution. And the Tower says, yeah, it's going to blow everything up. There are major changes coming. And since you've said that you've had trouble finding a job where you're happy, that will be positive. There are major changes coming through your own agency. And let us draw a card for what those changes are going to be. And the card we have drawn is the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is victory after hard work. And it suggests that, I wonder if I can turn this in such a way that, yeah, my green screen is doing weird things to it, but which is weird because this is not a green background. But victory after hard work says that you will have the victory that you want in terms of the happy job that you're hoping for in your career, after having worked really hard for some time now to get it. So good news is coming, and when it comes, it will be a major change. So I hope that was helpful to you. And that concludes our readings for the evening. Because we are at the end of the hour, but I want to thank you for joining me. And next week, I believe Reverend Mary will be back for Tarot Thursday as usual. And she will be doing readings for everyone who wants one, as I have been doing tonight. And thank you for joining me. And as is my custom, we shall close with a prayer. And I shall see you all soon, I think. Well, certainly soon. As you know, or you may know, I'm taking a few weeks off of broadcasting just at present, but I will be returning. And my birthday is June 11th, and the plan has been to return to broadcasting around that time. So let us have our prayer. Divine Mother Goddess, Divine Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you for all that you do for us in our lives, and we rejoice in your presence in our lives, and we ask you to help us to have the divine guidance that we need as we go through our lives, whether through divination, meditation, simply knowing, all the many different ways that you can help us. We open our hearts to you. We ask you to guide us as we go forward and to help us to make the best decisions and take the best actions for our lives. Beloved Mother Goddess, beloved Father God, beloved ancestors, with great love we thank you, and knowing you're always with us, from respect we thank you for your presence, and may you be blessed now and always. I thank you for your presence. May you be blessed now and always, and I shall see you again.